Oh boy, I never doubted them. I never doubted them. I always believed until the very end. No, there was not a single ounce of doubt during this entire game. No way in hell. Phillies come back in the ninth inning to beat the Miami Marlins in game 2 by a score of 3-1. Bryce Harper with a huge game-tying double after, Kyle Schwarber starts it off, sets the tone in that ninth inning against David Robertson. David Robertson, I've been saying it for so long, he owes us one, and he definitely returned the favor today. He leads off the ninth inning, walking Schwarber. Boom, sadly strikes out. Worked a good count, but sadly he struck out on ball 4. Bryce Harper crushes a ball the other way. Honestly, could have gone out if it was, carried a little bit more, but it goes off the wall. Jake Cave, who was pinch running for Kyle Schwarber, wraps all the way around the bases, ties the ball game up. Bryce is at second base for Nick Castellanos to maybe do something a little bit. I was getting a little bit skeptical because, 0-2 count. Nick Castellanos doing his typical thing, fouls off the first 2 pitches, swings at both of them. But oh boy, David Robertson, Dave Robert, that's what I call him, David Robertson. Oh, he made a mistake, and it was probably the biggest mistake of the season for him. Holy shit, that was the biggest hanging curveball that I've ever seen in my life. It was the juiciest pitch to completely hit to the moon. And you know what Nick Castellanos did? He hit it to the fucking moon. Nick Castellanos, after struggling this entire second half, where the fuck did that come from? I don't care where that came from. I'm happy he finally decided to show up this second half and give the Phillies a nice win. A nice how do you do? A nice how do you do? You go up 3-1. Seranthony Dominguez comes in for the save. Obviously, Craig Kimbrell was not available. Pitched 2 days in a row before this game, so obviously he wasn't going to be there. Gregory Soto, he pitched the 8th inning. So it was Seranthony Dominguez's job. And honestly, yes, I was nervous. I was very nervous because I'm not sure what version of Seranthony we were going to get. Easy 1-2-3. Easy 1-2-3. A couple of fly balls and a strikeout to end off the ball game. Easiest 1-2-3 inning I've ever seen. Easiest save I've ever seen from Seranthony Dominguez. They said coming into this game he was 0 for 5 in save situations this year. I guess he was due for a save. I guess he was just due to get that first save on the air. And the Phillies now guarantee a split, and they have a very good chance to win the series tomorrow night with Zack Wheeler on the bump. A very, very good chance. Very good chance. You were going into the night, trade deadline, you make a couple of acquisitions, you get Michael Lorenzen from the Detroit Tigers. I really love that pickup. I think it's very, very, very solid overall. I think he could be very useful for you, putting up solid numbers for the Detroit Tigers. He was their lone all-star. Granted, the Tigers are a very bad team, but he was their lone all-star, and there's still something to say about that. So, and also, the Phillies, they get Rodolfo Castro from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Another utility guy. You could put him in there against left-handed pitching. He really crushes left-handers. But overall, that definitely isn't something that really, I guess, sings to me. Really sings overall. Infielder, right-handed. He could play all the positions in the infield. Overall, yeah. He could hit against lefties. That's basically the entire summary to that point. And if I look at his numbers against lefties, overall, Rodolfo Castro, 22 home runs in the equivalent of one full season across 3 years. Jesus Christ, switch hitter. Can't be a free agent until 2029. He's very young. I believe he's 24 years old. He has control. So basically, they went for control over rental. Another guy, basically another Edmundo Sosa type. Not sure the glove is supposed to be as good as Edmundo, but overall, let me look at Rodolfo Castro's numbers overall. Let me look at these numbers for him. So this year with the Pittsburgh Pirates, yes, he is 24 years old. He's a switch hitter, really good against lefties, not so good against righties. This year he's batting .228 with 6 home runs. Was he the one that had the walk-off shot against us on Sunday? Was he the one that hit the walk-off? I'm not entirely sure. But also in that trade, the Phillies send over Bailey Falter to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So Bailey Falter get a shot otherwhere. There's also some reports out there that Bailey Falter does not, is kind of an asshole. Did not mesh well with Caleb Cotham. He's very high on himself, like very full of himself. So maybe that's one of the reasons why the Phillies traded him. That's maybe one of the reasons why he struggled so much this year, because he wouldn't listen to the pitching staff on things that he needs to fix. So who knows? Who knows? But overall, I'm trying to look at his splits between lefties and righties. I'm trying to see that entire thing. His splits. Where's his splits? Standard batting. Splits. There we go. 2023. There we go. Versus left-handed pitching this year. Let's do against right-handed pitching, though. Basically the same amount of sample sizes. 49 games against righties, 51 games against lefties. In 118 plate appearances against right-handed pitching, he is batting .173 with a .271 on base and a .192 slugging, a .464 OPS. But he is a completely different hitter. A completely different hitter against lefties. 51 games, 106 at-bats, .290 average, .368 on base, .538 slugging, and .906 OPS. And 6 home runs. That's where all of his home runs came this year. So he was not the guy that hit the walk-off shot this year. So, yeah, all of his home runs are from the right side of the plate. 17 RBIs there. Overall, he's just a completely different hitter against lefties. So, I guess that's solid. A guy that you just put in there against lefties. But then again, that's going to give Rob Thompson an excuse to put Bryce and Stott out of the lineup. Unless he does the situation, he puts Castro over to third base for Bohm. Bohm goes to first, and he has the choice to keep Bryce and Stott in the lineup finally. Maybe that's the choice, because the Phillies did DFA Josh Harrison during the trade deadline. So we don't have to see Josh Harrison anymore. Waste of space. Waste of space. But overall, I do like the Michael Lorenzen deal. And Dave Dombrowski with this deadline, he is really pushing the buttons on. He believes in this lineup. He believes in the main guys in the lineup to get it going, to carry this team into the playoffs, to finally pick it up. And yes, I can definitely understand that mindset from Dave Dombrowski entirely. I trust this guy with my life. I do. And yes, this lineup does have the ability to go off when everyone is clicking. When these major guys are clicking, they really haven't clicked a lot consistently all year. Maybe that could be a sign of confidence for these guys. We saw what Nick did today with the 2-run shot in the 9th inning after a day off yesterday. Maybe, this boasts some confidence for these guys that, Dave Dombrowski has their backs and he believes in them. Maybe that could be something for this group. That, their president, their GM, they believe in them. Didn't really make any major moves to, force these guys out. And maybe that's the only thing they needed. Dave Dombrowski did say that they wanted to bolster the starting rotation just because they feel like they're really thin there. And yes, Michael Lorenzen is a very nice option. They're going to stretch it into a 6-man rotation for the time being because they do not have many days off over the next couple of weeks. Michael Lorenzen is going to be pitching on Thursday in the finale against the Marlins, so that moves Aaron Nola's start back to Friday against Kansas City, so he's going to get an extra day of rest. And Aaron Nola's numbers technically are very better against, on extra days rest. So we'll see how that happens. But overall in this game, you gotta what does Sandy Alcantara have to do more? But to start this game off, Kyle Schwarber, Alec Bohm, they lead off with 2 singles. And then, of course, Bryce Harper grounds into a double play. Nick Castellanos grounds out. And, of course, a golden opportunity goes away. And then, Ranger Suarez today, I thought he battled. He was very efficient. There was a lot of hits allowed, a lot of soft contact, not many hard contact. There was a huge play later on in the ball game. This was I believe it was Stallings led off with a walk. Then Rhys got a triple down the right field line. Stallings tried to score on the play. And it was a great, relay from Nick Castellanos to Bryce and Stott and a fantastic tag by Garrett Stubbs, who was starting today because JT Realmuto, the hand that he, his throwing hand that I guess he like ripped the skin on last night, I'm assuming, diving in the dirt, is still in pain. So he's getting a day off today. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with his hand. But, that was a great, key moment in the game. But overall, Ranger Suarez, I thought he was very efficient, regardless of the hits that he allowed. He went 6 1/3 innings, 10 hits allowed, 2 walks, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 81 pitches. Definitely not the sharpest version of Ranger Suarez, but it's probably one of the better versions of Ranger Suarez that we had in the last bit here. Basically, the Marlins, they were swinging early, they were chasing pitches, they were going after first pitches, and that's basically what happened. Ranger did get out of a huge bases loaded jam a couple of times in this game. I think it was actually only one time in that first inning. So the Marlins definitely were, slouching with runners in scoring position today. They went 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. So that's definitely some efficiency from the bullpen. And Junior Marte, he got himself into a little jam after Ranger came out of the game. Walked a couple of guys, but he managed to get out of that entire situation. Gregory Soto, after allowing a hit, he was very solid in his 8th inning of work. And Seranthony Dominguez only did 10 pitches to get the save. So, very solid stuff, very efficient stuff, and hey, I'll take it any day of the week. You find ways to win, and this pitching staff is still one of the major reasons why you're winning games. Ranger kept you involved, and your bullpen kept you involved. Enough for your offense to finally do something against the Marlins pitching, thankfully, was David Robertson. They did enough to get Sandy to not go into the 9th inning. I'm sure the Marlins are now regretting not putting Sandy out there in the 9th. I'm sure they're really regretting that, because honestly, I was shocked that he didn't come out for the 9th inning. I guess, because he pitched a complete game his last outing, they weren't going to do that twice in a row, especially with him going 101 pitches into the 8th. So I guess that wasn't going to be the case, but Sandy went 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts on 101 pitches. What more does this guy have to do? Dave Robertson, an inning, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout on 24 pitches. Like, holy shit. I don't even know how Sandy Alcantara has to feel after this. Like, seriously, he just can't escape the Phillies finding a way to beat them when he is on the bump. And it's not even his fault. It's his team not scoring for him, and also his bullpen giving it up again. The first time they played this year, it was Sandy's fault. The past couple of other times, it was not Sandy's fault. So, yeah. If we look at the lineup today, Kyle Schwarber had a fantastic day at the plate. He was 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Alec Bohm went 1 for 4. Bryce Harper went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Nick Castellanos with the huge home run, 1 for 4. The only hit he had was that 2-run shot, and it was the biggest swing of the game. Bryson Stott goes 0 for 4. Trey Turner 0 for 4. Brandon Marsh 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. Garrett Stubbs 1 for 3. And Johan Rojas 0 for 3. Phillies went 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They really didn't have that many guys on the base paths today. They only had 6 hits in total, and they found a way to win a game. So, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos come up clutch. That's basically the bottom line there. Oh boy. Gotta love it. And in terms of the wild card standings now, if we're looking at other teams, the Cubs, they're completely destroying the Cincinnati Reds. They're winning 13-5. The Giants and the Diamondbacks, they're currently just underway. They're in the top of the 3rd inning. That's 0-0. And once again, you get some breathing room with the Marlins now in the standings after winning this game as well. So if you're looking at the standings currently, you're now a game and a half above the Marlins. You're now tied with the San Francisco Giants for the first wildcard spot. You're a game above the Arizona Diamondbacks, and you're a half game above the Milwaukee Brewers, who are in the 3rd wildcard spot. The Cubs, though, they are creeping up. They got 4 games behind, and I'm assuming they would be 3.5 games behind, after tonight. So, basically, it's just a wait-and-see process for everything. If the Giants lose today, I'm assuming that means the Phillies move into the first wild card spot. So that would be very helpful and very beneficial. So we're just going to have to see how everything pans out. There. Currently, the Mets, they're losing to the Kansas City Royals 3-1. So the Mets, after completely selling everything, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Canna, Tommy Pham, all this other stuff. Did you see all the talk? I believe it was Ken Rosenthal posted an article talking to Max Scherzer about how when he had the discussion with the Mets front office and how they were discussing everything on how, how the trade deadline was going to go, if, are they going to do anything for the offseason? Is this going to be just a one-off event and they're going to, run it back for 2024? According to the article, apparently not. The Mets are, chalking it up, they're going to, get the prospects from this trade deadline. They're not going to build for, they may make some minor signings for 2024, but they're not going to go all in. They're saying maybe 2025, 2026 is when they want to, do other things. I'm like, geez, if you're a Mets player, why would you want to stay around that? Why would you want to stay around that, in my honest opinion? Even though I call this dude the biggest dork in the world, I would take a Pete Alonso for a first baseman full time. If Pete Alonso wants out of New York, Dave Dombrowski, I would call that up. Get a mean power bat on that first base side, all the power in the world and all the run driving capability. I would take that in a heartbeat. He may be a dork, but he's a great power hitter. And we can definitely use that, but that's definitely for another topic for another time in the off season, but I doubt that's going to happen. That's just me overthinking everything and everything like that. But still, it's nice to think about. It definitely is. But who knows what happens? They just, lock some guys in long term. Brandon Nimmo. Who else did they lock in long term on that team? I completely forget. But, Lindor's still locked up there long term. So there's a lot of things there. So it's a very confusing situation with the New York Mets. Definitely a confusing situation. Not sure how the players are going to feel about that, but I'm sure they're pissed. Overall. Oh boy. Jesus. And if you want a stat from the Reds-Cubs game, Ben Lively is the first pitcher to allow 13 runs in a game versus the Cubs since Walker Boom Boom Beck back in 1939. And 13 earned runs in a game versus the Cubs since Bill Scherdill in 1918. Holy shit. Why did they keep him in for that long? Is their bullpen really that blown out? Holy shit. And apparently Framber Valdez is 3 outs away from a no-hitter. Apparently, against the Cleveland Guardians. So we'll see how that happens. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah. In terms of everything else, pretty quick game. Pretty quick stuff. Typical Sandy Alcantara outing. All of his games technically go very quickly. So, I'm fine with this game ending very quickly. Give me enough time to prepare for the stream and everything like that. And that's how you do. it. And now you have a chance to win the series tomorrow with Zack Wheeler on the bump. And I believe it's Braxton Garrett for the Marlins, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at that. I believe it is Braxton Garrett, if I'm not mistaken. So for tomorrow's game, yep, Braxton Garrett. He is 5-3 with a 4.0 ERA, 0.8 ERA. His last outing against the Tigers, 6 innings and 0 earned runs. And then previously, he only went 3 innings against the Rockies and allowed 6. 3 home runs allowed there. And then against the Baltimore Orioles, he allowed 4 earned runs. Against the Phillies, he allowed 3 earned runs. So definitely, he is a guy that you can get to. Maybe tomorrow is a day that we see Castro in the lineup. Maybe, he comes in and he gets a chance to play third base maybe. And Bohm goes to first. And we'll see Harper in the DH spot. It's definitely a question mark there, but maybe Bohm gets a day off. But I doubt they'll give Bohm a day off with the way he's swinging the bat lately. So I'm not sure. Not sure what's going to happen. We'll wait and see. And then for Michael Lorenzen, he is going to be pitching on Thursday now against Johnny Cueto. So let's try to get that win tomorrow so there's no pressure on Michael Lorenzen. Ease him in there. He comes in, maybe with a chance to sweep. And let's see what he can do. Not asking for too much. Zack Wheeler, need you to be what you've been in the past couple of outings, my guy. In Phillies offense, maybe you got a spark from tonight. We could definitely use that. I think this team is overly due for an offensive outburst. And who knows, maybe it could happen tomorrow. I'm not guaranteeing anything because it is against the lefty. But who knows? Right now, you guaranteed yourself a split at least, but go for the gut, go for the jugular, go for the series win tomorrow. Go for it tomorrow, so we don't have to stress about anything on Thursday afternoon. That would be the best case scenario. Then you move on to everything else. We'll wait and see. Oh, Framber did get the no-hitter? Yes, he did. On 93 pitches, Jesus. 93 pitches, he got a no-hitter. Interesting. Only on 93 pitches. That's some very efficient work there by Framber. Very efficient stuff. We do have a voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline, so let's get to that, and I'll get to you guys in the chat here before we end it off. So let's go see what Sean has to say on tonight's Phillies victory. So let's see. I hit the wrong thing. God damn it. Okay. Let me, now, here we go.
You know, Amadeo, I remember talking to you about this a couple months ago. I think Sandy Alcantara has to be just about suicidal tonight. What do I have to do to beat the Phillies? I mean, I was honestly surprised that they took him out to start the top of the ninth inning. He was in total command. He pitched a complete game his last time out. I thought they were going to give him a shot to do it. So thank you, Skip Schumacher, for that. Huge win for the Phillies. You know, Ranger Suarez didn't pitch great, but he kept you in it. And the bullpen, yeoman's work, a tip of the cap to them. Good to see Sir Anthony Dominguez bounce back. If nothing else, you got a split, but I want that win tomorrow to at least ensure 3 out of 4. Last thing, as far as the trade goes, I don't mind it. I mean, I know they picked up a backup infielder from the Pirates as well. Don't know much about him, but Lorenzen, you know, good spot starter, swing guy, reliever, and dare I say, might be one of the best bats you have on this team. The guy can rake. He may get some pinch hit opportunities here and there. Don't be surprised. But a big win for the Phillies tonight.
Honestly, I want to see that now. I want to see Rob Thompson. Maybe if it's like a blowout game or something like that, he just gives Michael Lorenzen a chance to pinch hit. Like, can that just be an option at this point? Like, can that be an option? I would love to see that, honestly. Honestly, if, you know, if Bryce needs a day off or something like that, let Michael Lorenzen pinch hit DH or something like that. Maybe the dude can get a bomb. Maybe he can get a bomb or something like that. I would love to see that. But in terms of Castro, basically, he's a guy that sucks against, he's a switch hitter that sucks against right-handed pitching, but he demolishes left-handed pitching. It's basically it. I'm not too sure about his glove, though. I would assume it's solid enough because the Pittsburgh Pirates apparently are supposed to have a good infield defense, even though we didn't really see that this weekend. I'm not sure about the glove, though. He mashes lefties, terrible against righties. Maybe Kevin Long has something to fix with that, but I'm not entirely sure there. Caleb Coughlin does his work. Maybe he'll do some work with Michael Lorenzen. Apparently, Dave Dombrowski said they were interested in Lorenzen in the offseason, but they weren't able to guarantee him a rotation spot, so who knows? Michael Lorenzen, the best two-way player since Shohei Ohtani. Maybe that could be the case. Still, Framber Valdez, 93 pitches to get the no-hitter. Solid stuff there. Some solid stuff. And also, did you see what some of the Marlins trades? You know, they get Josh Bell. They trade away Garrett Cooper. They get Berger from Chicago. They send Gene Segura away to Cleveland when they, you know, got Josh Bell, and Cleveland DFA'd him. So, Gene Segura is a free agent again. Does Dave go after Gene Segura just for the little bit of good time memories there? I doubt it happens. I don't think it's going to happen. But, you know, there's definitely some Phillies fans that had that idea. Oh, go get Gene Segura because good feels. Good feels. Nah, I'm good. I love Gene, but the time's done. Didn't play good this year at all with Miami. I think it's about time to stop. He got to his World Series. He got an NLCS ring. What more can he ask for? I know he would want a World Series, but lone postseason appearance, he makes the World Series. Yeah, he got his payday. He got his money. I think he's good. So, before we end it off here, I'm going to you guys in a live feed. So let's see what you guys have for me. How you doing, David? Nick finally got out of his head. Miami tried to use a weak closer, and it backfired. I'm so thrilled they finally DFA'd Josh Harrison. He was the worst player. I'm just disappointed that Boston refused to trade the ball. Yeah, that's honestly weird. Dave Dombrowski was talking about, I'm assuming the marketplace was just ridiculous for the prices. So I'm assuming that was the case. Also, why they didn't get another bat. So I can understand that factor because the market this year was definitely ridiculous in terms of pitching and hitting. Because there was barely any guys on the market. Because there was so many teams that were after right-handed bats, and there were so very few. So I can definitely understand Dave Dombrowski for not forcing it. So I guess we'll see more of an outfield, with, Rojas, Marsh, and maybe Pache when he comes back. Maybe that could be the case. But who knows? When Dominguez came in, I was nervous. I don't blame you, Star Wars. I don't blame you. David Robertson was a bum as a Philly. He was bad enough to be traded from the Mets even with a 2 ERA. Really weird Dave from Dombrowski made us wait until he traded for Michael Lorenzen. Yeah, I guess that's just how Dave works. Oh, Castro was the guy that had the phone in his pocket when he slid to, third base or something like that? I do remember something like that. I do remember that. I do. We always playing from behind, but wins are wins. Exactly. July 7th, Sandy pitched again, and the Phillies scored 3 in the 9th for Pache, the Pache double catch. That was Sandy too. I completely forgot. Like, I remember the Pache go-ahead home run, but I completely forgot Sandy pitched that night. Freaking Sandy Alcantara cannot catch a break. He cannot catch a break at all. Philly G Steak. Is this the Amadeo that used to call in the Broads hotline? What's up, man? How you doing, Philly G Steak? How you doing? Appreciate you for joining the stream. I appreciate. Yes, I am Amadeo that calls in the Broads stuff. I'm Broads editor, so when he needs someone to call in, I'll call in for the jokes. Yeah, I'm Hunter's right hand guy. So yeah, good guy. Love Hunter to death. After this is done, I'll go editing his TikToks for his recap tonight. He's probably posting it as I speak. What also killed the Marlins was scoring 1 runs with 11 hits. Yep, they had plenty of chances to score, and the Phillies made them pay for it. Julian's got a feeling that Hoskins will be back in September. I don't think September. I think you're more guaranteed if you make the playoffs, he comes back during the playoffs. I think that's the case scenario there. That's what I'm thinking, at least. Phillies pitching is ranked number 1 since June. Yeah, the Phillies pitching has been a major carry point to why their record is the way they are. Their offense has had some moments, but overall not too consistent. Their pitching is the major reason why they're here, especially the bullpen. And that's one of the major reasons what Dave Dombrowski did in the offseason. Help bolster the bullpen. Craig Kimbrell has been a major piece of that. Soto has been a major piece of that. Hoffman, Marte, honestly, has been a major piece there. Alvarado was a major piece before he got hurt. So there's definitely some pieces there. I kind of wish they would have did more to bolster the bullpen, but I guess, it's still fine the way it is. I guess they're just going to rely on people when they come back to be healthy. It's kind of scary in that thought process, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Kind of makes me sick that JV goes back to Houston. It was kind of the writing on the wall there. It was kind of obvious. If Ohtani can do it, why not Lorenzen? Oh, God. Looks like the New York Mets took the lead over Kansas City in the top of the 8th. I think last time I saw the Mets had bases loaded, so I guess they cashed in on that opportunity. And that doesn't bother me too much. The Mets they're playing a bad team. If they beat them, they beat them. Doesn't mean anything to me. Does not mean anything there. They're selling at the deadline. They don't believe in their team. The Mets are going to be where they are. They're not going to be doing anything. So, that's basically it. So, yes, that's where we're going to end it off today, everybody. Phillies got a nice win. coming back. Now they have a chance to win the series tomorrow. I would like to take that grasp of the series, win it tomorrow, so you don't have to worry about Thursday. Zack Wheeler on the bump. Let's see if he can continue with the way he's been pitching lately. Been really good. Let's see if he can just continue that. And let's get a nice series win tomorrow, boys. So, thank you for joining tonight, everybody. I appreciate everyone that joins the stream as always. So don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. We just surpassed 800. So, let's keep it going. Let's get it closer to 900 and then closer to 1,000. I believe in you guys. Join the family. Have a fun time here. I appreciate everyone and all of you that do hit that subscribe button and join the stream. So, and also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal, don't pass it up. So,